right. Hey, welcome to today's webinar. Before we get started, while people are walking in, I do always have a question of the day. So, Greg, you're here in the Atlanta area with me.
Yes.
It feels like the fall. So
Yes.
we're gonna go with the weather related. What is your favorite season of the year
All
here in
right.
Atlanta?
I'm liking it. I'm liking it. Just gonna say mine, but I'm gonna go with fall. No, I'm not. I'm gonna go with spring.
Spring. Final answer?
Yes.
All right. You had to think about that a long time. Very non-committal there. How about it,
But I'm
Chris? All right. All right, Chris, you're in the Carolinas with that
Yeah,
accent,
so
which we can tell just from the accent that you're clearly a
yeah,
Carolina
exactly,
guy.
exactly right. And so no, I think the fall. So I think it's nice, dry, and sort of good golfing weather. No less thunderstorms. I'll definitely go with the fall.
Yeah, I'm a fall guy. I'm with you on the fall.
I don't
Mm.
think
So,
they can chat. Can you open up the chat, Matt, so they can put answers? I don't see anybody answering. Oh, there we
here we go.
go.
There we go. All right. So let me do my job and then I'll turn this thing over. So welcome to Insightful Accountants Future Forward webinar series. This week's series is on vertical niches. Today's session is key niche strategies for exponential firm growth. This session is brought to you by Finatical. My name is Gary Dehart and I'm the host, and our presenter is Gregg Bossen, and then Chris Meyer, who's on the call as well, will be joining him towards the end. Gregg is a CPA and founder of QuickBooks Made Easy. He has mastered the not-for-profit niche and will teach you how to identify, market, and monetize niche services to increase revenue and deepen client relationships in today's webinar. He will share his bio and his credentials after I turn the event over to him. But before I do that, we do have a quick poll question about our Be Insightful Premium content offering. Matt, if you could post that up there, that would be fantastic. As you can see, our this program has 9 training tracks, and these tracks cover everything from the Coach's Corner, app comparison, your firm, accelerated human resources, as well as a few others. And one thing that is not on that slide that is new for us, we are promoting a cruise for 2026. So members of the program, the cruise portion or the seminar portion would be included just as a member. There's obviously an additional fee for the cruise, but in July of 2026, we're hosting a 7-night Caribbean working cruise during which you'll have time to work on your business in sessions that are curated and led in such a way that you'll walk away from the cruise both relaxed, which is a good thing, and with a strategy and execution plan to grow your business to the next level. So tie that with this week's niche and with Gregg's session today, you might have a booming business in the future. So if you want to learn more about the program, just click yes, and we will send you some information or the program or the cruise. Just say yes. Quick housekeeping, and then I'm out of here. This is a CPE eligible webinar. You must be here for 50 minutes, 50 minutes, and you have to answer at least 3 of the poll questions. If you meet this criteria, we will send you your certificate within 24 hours. If you have any questions during the webinar, please add them into the Q&A or the chat, whichever one is working. And you will receive an email following this event with a link to the archive, which will be posted to our YouTube channel as well, and a link to the source documents as well. Matt will drop that link into the chat, the YouTube link into the chat just during this session. And then lastly, after the event, we would appreciate it if you could just take 30 seconds to answer the short survey that will pop up on your screen once Gregg is finished. And that's basically just asking just a short feedback about the session, about the speaker. Did we cover what you were expecting us to cover? So with that said, Gregg, it is all yours. And Chris, thank you so much again to Fanatical for sponsoring this session today.
All right. Thank you so much. And I don't know about that cruise. I mean, I do want to go, but I just got finished watching that that podcast. What is it? No, the TV series on
Yes, the
Netflix,
Netflix thing.
the Amy.
Hey, that never happens. Oh, that
That,
one. My wife's watching that.
yeah,
She's
yeah.
Yeah, she had to turn it off. She's like, I just can't believe how Well, but clearly the authorities have kind of bungled it too. But
No, not the poop cruise,
no,
Ashley.
no,
Not the poop cruise. The
not
one where Amy disappeared. And by the way, to talk to me and ask me questions, put it in the chat, not the Q&A. Put it in the chat. And I want everybody to put something in the chat now. Say hi, hello, whatever. I want to make sure that I can talk to you. How many people have seen that Amy cruise thing? Just out of curiosity, where Amy is missing. Oh, hey, hey, Cheryl, how are you? Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, Ashlyn saw that one as well. All right. Okay, cool. And we're going to get to Chris a little bit later. Chris is sponsoring. He's also the owner, or well, I guess one of the representatives from Finatical, which is really cool. And I'm gonna show that towards the end. But the thing that we are here for is to learn about niches or niches. Perhaps that was what we should do for the next hour: is decide whether to call it a niche or a niche. What do you think, Chris? You'd probably go with niche.
I'd probably go with niche. Yeah.
Anyway, or Kanish, as Lori says. All right, so I am a CPA, and I actually started with Pete Marwick. Did anybody work for Pete Marwick years ago in the old days? I worked for KPMG.
Yeah.
Pete Marwick, yeah. And the very first job that I got on, I was in the audit department. The very first audit I got on was nonprofits. And so that's kind of why it is I ended up choosing that. I didn't choose it because I thought, oh, doing niche accounting, this is going to be great. I chose it because it's what I knew. But I think I was already kind of understanding intuitively that in order to market yourself, it's not really very helpful to be a generalist, to be completely honest with you. So anyway, so I've built a practice over time that is completely based on nonprofits. And so I have a full accounting firm. We do audits. We do nonprofit, only nonprofit audits. We do about 159 90s. We do all kinds of consulting with nonprofits. But then I also have a website for a separate company that I have, which is called, let me click on this just to get it up on the screen quickly. It's called QuickBooks for Made Easy for Nonprofits. And what I do with this website is I do a lot of teaching, I do a lot of training, which is an incredible way to increase your practice, by the way. If you or somebody at your firm is actually good at teaching, um, it is the best way that I've found to grow my practice because I teach webinars, I teach live seminars. After COVID, it's all webinars. And I teach it to end users. And invariably, they're like, first of all, when you stand in front of somebody and start teaching, they assume that you're an expert, even though you may not be. And so you automatically have credibility if you know how to talk to people. And second of all, they're like, this guy is good. I finally understand him. You know, most accountants, we really can't talk to clients very well. But if you have somebody that can talk to clients in a way that they understand, they tend to gravitate to you. Can you do my audit? Can you do my accounting? Can you do my 990? I'm literally turning clients away every single week because honestly, I don't have the bandwidth, and honestly, I don't want it because I'm kind of, I'm 60 now, and I don't want to grow. I want to travel. But anyway, so that's a little bit about me. But let's get back to this thing here. So all right. So this is pretty basic. So I'm going to do this pretty quickly. I'm going to kind of go through what's relevant about a niche. I'm going to give you some tips and tricks that I used and give it to you in a way that'll kind of help you in your practice. And then we're going to, open it up for questions and stuff. So why a niche? Accounting is a splintered business. Some people do bookkeeping. Some people do individual taxes, pension plan accounting, foreign entities, business taxes, high net worth tax planning, trusts and estates, accounting system design, app integration. That's a big deal these days, is understanding how apps integrate with accounting software. But they not only get splintered in this way in terms of the type of work you're doing, there's audits as well. It's also what kind of industry. And so that's really where I have decided to focus. I focused on the nonprofit industry, but there are all kinds of industries. And say you decide you want to you want to focus on doctors. Well, accounting for doctors is not that difficult. But doctors don't know that. So what you do is you focus on the things that are unique for doctors, and that's how you market yourself. Okay, so that's one of the benefits of picking an industry and deciding to focus on that industry. So when you choose a niche, it allows you to focus. Don't you love these PowerPoint slides, Chris? They're just like, I don't know. I hate doing fluff. I always teach like hardcore QuickBooks training. So whenever I do fluff, I always roll my eyes a little bit at myself. But anyway, so it allows you to focus on what you learn. There is so much to learn if you're an accountant. And so it allows you to focus on just your area. It allows you it allows you to determine how you're going to market, and it allows you to determine who you partner with. And partnering, I will tell you, is the single most important thing that I have done to grow my business, is establishing partnerships with other people, which means, and this is going to sound ridiculous, but and obvious, is you have to know how to communicate and talk to people and honestly get them to like you. I mean, obviously you need to be good at accounting, but it's more important almost that you are likable, you're interesting, you know how to communicate with people, you know how to listen. And that is why I feel like I've been successful, because I think I'm pretty good at it, and it helps me in my partnerships. And I got a couple of stories related to that. So I'm kind of curious uh, to find out what niche either you are interested in specializing in, or what niche you already are specializing in. So I have a poll question, and I'm assuming, Matt, you turned off my ability to do a poll because I don't have any of my polls. So I'm wondering, Matt, can you share the polls so that I can ask this question? Let's see if he's going to be able to do that or not. Yes. Okay. Yay. All right. Cool. So that's not the poll that I want. Uh, well, that's unfortunate. Is there a way that you could share poll 2 instead of poll 1, or do I have to? Let's see what he's done here. Sorry about this, folks. Let me go back to polls. Uh, nope. Poll 3. Do poll 3. Sorry. Usually I have control of all the polls. So there we go. Okay, cool. So do you have a niche that you want to grow? Now, if for some reason you're not seeing the poll, put it in the chat. But I have bars and restaurants, doctors, dentists, legal, retail, auto repair, construction contractors, farmer ranchers, manufacturers, cannabis where it's legal, and cannabis where it's not legal, because why not? And then education, schools, e-commerce, transportation, logistics, or nonprofits. So I need every single one of you, and we've got about 50 something people in the room, to tell me something. So Dawn is governmental, special, so governmental, municipalities, absolutely. And I'm going to let you guys continue to vote. And then, Matt, when you feel like we've got enough answers, you can go ahead and show it so we can get an idea of the different industries that people are in. And by the way, if you have a larger accounting firm, you may have more than one industry that you specialize in. And I would encourage you to have people that specialize in that industry in their own little department. So there we go. So we have 17 that are on doctors and dentists, and 12 that are legal, and we have 21 construction and contractors. Not surprised at all. We have 6 that are manufacturers. We have 5 that are on cannabis. Wow, that's trippy. And 13 that are nonprofits. Okay, cool. So let's see. Mary Pauley does conversions from one accounting system to another and integration of apps. So Mary, one of the people that you need to be partnering with is other accounting firms, because it's something that most accountants don't want to do. But anyway, so we talked about your niche. Is there anybody that is thinking about a particular niche and they want to know whether or not this is a good idea? Service providers, plumbers, contractors, electricians. So doing the services. All right, cool. So does anyone have any question about this? Is anyone that hasn't picked a niche? They're like, I have no idea. Um, Fuel distributors. Okay, this one individual has. Anybody else? Okay, cool. So Patricia doesn't have a niche. So I assume that, Patricia, you're doing work for certain clients now, right? So I would assume that you have some level of experience in a particular industry at all. Uh, Amanda's a mess, but have started picking up nonprofits in addition to all the rest. Okay. Property, construction, development. Okay, cool. So I think we kind of beat that for now. I'm going to do this just for 1 second. I don't think this is a very helpful slide, but I'm going to go ahead and put it in here since I've done really good with my niche. So I'll tell you why I like the nonprofit niche. There's 1.9 million nonprofits in the United States. One of the things that's cool about nonprofits and working with them, besides the fact that they're nice, is that they care about reports. Nobody else does. Okay. Small businesses, all they want to do is save as much money on taxes as possible. I remember for years we were doing compilations. We would send them off to the auto repair shop or the pizza joint or whatever, and they would never look at them. All they wanted is they wanted to save money on taxes. So, yes, they like the reports. So that's kind of cool. They also have a lot more stakeholders in other industries. Board of directors want to know stuff, funders want to know stuff, donors want to know stuff, the staff needs to know stuff, banks might need it, and the way that you need to slice and dice the numbers is very different depending upon whether you're a board member who just wants to see how you're doing against a budget, whereas if you're a funder, you want to see how much of your grant has been spent and in which areas. Okay. All right. Let's see. Kathleen says something. No one else has ever been taught how to care about reports and why they matter. Use historical info to predict and manage the future. Yeah, I agree. Reporting is one of the most important things. If you think about it, if you can give somebody a report that gives them insights on their business, that's something people that don't know the first thing about accounting can understand. And the reports are extremely different depending upon what industry you're in. And that's one of the reasons why Chris and Finatical has decided to be a part of this webinar, because his is a reporting software that does a lot more than QBO reports do. All right. So anyway, so accounting is more complex. Supply of accountants. This is the other thing. In the nonprofit space, the supply of accountants in the space is very low because they are assuming they don't have money to pay, and they absolutely do. And the beautiful part about it is that they're not the ones, the decision maker is not the one paying for it. It's the donors. And so a lot of times, if they're doing okay, we don't really get fighting about money. Okay. Let's see. It's a huge opportunity for accountants. But anyway, you don't need to worry about taxes. But that's why I chose that niche. It really chose me because back when I was at Pete Marwick, it was the very first job that I was on. Okay. Yeah, Kyle, there's to a certain extent price sensitive. Kyle's wanting to know how I handle pricing with nonprofits. Since I only do nonprofits, and they ask me, "Hey, can I get a discount because I'm a nonprofit?" I'm like, "Well, if I gave you a discount, then I would have to give everybody. I wouldn't be in business. So it's the only kind of business that I do. So that's one way I handle it. But anyway, so all right. So as I said, there are three main areas in order to expand the practice. And I'm going to really try and give you some nitty gritty tips about what I did and what you can do. So the three things that you want to focus on is learning your niche and marketing your niche and then partnering. So learning your niche. Okay. So what I want to do, what I think you should do, and what I did is take a client that's in the niche that you're in out for coffee or lunch. Okay. Sit across from them. Do it not just for the owner, but do it for the person that's doing the data entry. Because in a lot of businesses, there's going to be the person who's doing the bookkeeping, and then there's the person who is the owner. Take both of these people out to lunch and ask them questions. What questions do you ask them? Ask them what reports they want to get that they are not presently getting out of QuickBooks. All right. So that you can create these reports either within QBO or using an outside connection like Finatical. one of the things that was so important and was so valuable to me in terms of marketing to somebody is being able to give them a report in the very first meeting that I have with them before I've even sold them as a client. I'll meet with them and I'm like, okay, well, I know one of the things that you care about is tracking restricted grants. Oh, yeah, absolutely. We got to do that. Well, let me show you an example of a report that I can give you. Okay. That kind of thing goes a long way towards getting clients. So I also ask when it comes to data entry, what takes the longest time and is the hardest to deal with? I'm going to tell you right now for nonprofits, payroll has to be split by grant and by program. So entering payroll sliced and diced in all these different ways is one of the hardest things to get when it comes to data entry. My guess is the same thing is true for the construction people, right? So is there some report in a particular industry that you lead with? Can anybody give me an example? I saw some funky industries like people in municipalities and stuff like that. Is there anybody that has a report? So Lori says a P&L by job. You're definitely going to want that in the construction business, and you're going to want even the indirect costs to be split so that they can really see the true profit. What about the fact for a contractor that the owner's time needs to be put to the job too? It's not a paying time, but it helps you see how profitable it really is. That's something that you would want to learn to do if you're in the construction business. The AIA forms for payment requests, that means that you want to use the same product service items in QuickBooks as the AIA forms so that you can get payment requests that match the forms. Yep, Lori, we talked about allocation of owner time. Yep. What about anybody in cannabis? There were 5 of you. Is there something in cannabis that's unique when it comes to data entry? Anybody? I would imagine there is. So it's something that you want to already know about ahead of time and already have a solution. Okay. Um, Nobody with cannabis is willing to put anything in the chat. Are y'all busy? What's going on there? You see, I like to talk to people a lot. All right. Well, I'm going to move on. All right. So, another question is, what am I, as your accountant, doing right? I think it's a really important question to ask, to see what it is that you can lean into that somebody's really happy with. A lot of times you don't know. One of the things that people like a lot is that I call people back immediately and I'm on phone. I do the phone rather than email, and people tend to like it a lot. I didn't know that it was something that people liked. I did it because I like it, but it turns out it's something I'm going to lean into. Okay. Let's see. What do you wish that I was doing that I'm not? What other software do you use in your business? Really important question to ask the client when you're at lunch, because it will help you know if it's a software that possibly a lot of people in your industry use, and if it possibly can link or interface with QuickBooks Online, or if it doesn't, how you can generate the report necessary out of that to create what you need to do in QuickBooks and you already know it going in. This is a kind of research that you need to be doing, okay? For me, for nonprofits, they use, a lot of them have CRMs, donor databases. The 3 big ones that sync with QuickBooks really well is Neon, Bloomerang, and Little Greenlight. And I contacted those companies myself and became an affiliate member and learned how the sync works. I ended up being a subject matter expert with a couple of them where they paid me to rewrite how the syncing works. And then I'm getting clients from them. All right. Is there a particular, I'm just going to pick in the construction business. What is a piece of software that most of clients use to track estimates and stuff? I know a lot of contractors don't use QuickBooks to do their estimating. Is there another software that a lot of construction people use? Builder Trend. 2 people said Builder Trend, Chris and Mary. Okay. Lori sees lots of Excel. Let's try not to use that if we can get away from it. So Builder Trend. So anybody in there, I think there were 13 people that said they were in construction. You need to understand a bit about Builder Trend, okay? So looks like it to me. And this is also a really important question when it comes to marketing. What industry associations exist in your space? So and also, do you belong to them, and why or why not? No sense in getting involved with an industry association that nobody cares about or nobody likes. Um, in the nonprofit space, each state has their own nonprofit association, and the nonprofit association has members, and those members are the various nonprofits in each state. And that association provides education to those members and also helps lobby at the state level and provides other ancillary services for the member associations. They have hundreds, sometimes thousands of members, and more importantly, they have lists, okay, of nonprofit organizations. I know this is true in the construction industry as well. All right. And I would assume it would be true elsewhere. Ranjita, the nonprofit softwares that sync with QuickBooks Online that are CRMs, Bloomerang, Neon, and Little Green Light. Okay. All right. All right. So now that you understand your niche, that's the point. And you want to take out more than one person, take out 2 or 3. You don't need to do a big poll. People don't answer polls that much. Just sit face to face across from 2 or 3 clients. Okay. So that is going to prepare you for what you need to do next. Now, one thing is you want to join these associations. A lot of them have affiliate membership opportunities. And this is something that was important to me. So when I decided I was going to start really marketing myself to the various associations, I started, obviously, I'm in Atlanta, Georgia, so I started with the Georgia Society of Nonprofits. Now, I didn't just go online and sign up for the affiliate membership. I'm a cog. It doesn't matter. What I did was I got on the phone, okay, and I talked to, and I was able to actually take the person out to lunch, the membership, whoever the person is that's in charge of the members, and I sat across from them and I got them to like me, okay? And it makes so much difference if they have a face and they meet you live, because that person is your connection to possibly hundreds of clients. And just to be blunt with you, not everybody's good at that kind of stuff. If you're not, maybe somebody else in your firm is, but somebody needs to be able to go face to face. Talk to the membership coordinator, find out what that person thinks the needs are for their members. Okay. Listen to them. Don't sell yourself. Listen to them. Find out what the needs are. They know. Okay. Offer to volunteer for them. Now, if you are able to do a webinar, if you can do something like this, even for 20, 30 minutes, offer to teach for free. All right. Again, don't you think I look like an expert? It sounds like I know what I'm doing. I have no idea what I'm doing, but it looks like I do. Okay, because here I am in front of y'all acting like an expert. Okay. So all right. Uh become the person's friend, to be completely honest with you. The other thing that really helped me is that when I was able to develop a relationship with the Georgia Society of Nonprofits, and I did a couple of like free webinars for them, I didn't get a lot of business out of it at first, but that person liked me. So then when I decided to go for North Carolina to add it, that person was my reference when I talked to the membership person at North Carolina. These associations, at least in the nonprofit space, they all talk to each other and they all know each other. Okay. So let's see. Sponsor an event. That costs money. These state associations, they have an event. A lot of them have an event every single year. Now, I don't sponsor an event at every single state association, but there's a National Association of Nonprofits in DC, and I sponsor an event there every single year, and I fly there. Okay. Let's see. So that's joining trade associations. Get certified in the outside applications. Okay. And I'm a little bit disappointed. I want to hear more because I know there are people in other industries. There's got to be other software that you could get certified in other industries. Most industries are using outside applications, CRMs, POSs, e-commerce platforms, payment processors, and a lot of them have affiliate programs, and I'm not joining the affiliate program so I can get a lot of money from these connections. That doesn't really work very well, like little commissions or whatever. I don't do that. It's more just it gets my foot in the door, and then I try and talk to the people that are relevant. Okay. So but I got, get certified in them. And if there is any way to sync with QBO, learn it. Okay. Anybody that are doctors, I saw there was a number of people that are doing doctors or dentists. They have billing software, don't they? Um, Somebody in that industry, give me the name of the billing software that they're using, because they have it's all very complicated with the insurance and stuff like that. Does anybody know billing softwares for doctors or dentists? Therapy Notes. Thank you, Martha. Okay. So now Therapy Notes likely does not integrate with QuickBooks, and you wouldn't want it. You don't want the individual names of patients in QuickBooks. But what you can get good at, Martha, is you can get good at understanding how to extract the report that you need out of Therapy Notes so that you can put an entry in that records the revenue, both received and not received, the insurance, the debts that have been written off, so that you can get a more accurate reporting in QuickBooks. And if you know that going in and you sit down with a doctor and you say, oh, you're using Therapy Notes. Oh, I already know how to do that. Let me show you this report that you get out of it. It will be like, wow, this person knows what's going on. Okay. Beth said, I've tried to find out if Toast or Clover has certifications, and she hasn't had any luck. Have any other restaurant folks been able to find out anything about that? Um, that's a good question, Beth. Is there anybody else that has like retail restaurants and bars that might know of a way to learn more about Toast or Clover? I'm surprised there's not any sort of a certification you can get, but at a minimum, you need to learn it. Okay. Ashland has another doctor dentist one, which is Simple Practice. But anyway, get certified in outside apps. And the other thing you want to do is you want to market yourself as an expert. All right. So before I get into how I did that, I'm going to stop for a second. How are y'all feeling about this webinar so far? Is this giving you any information that you want? Or is this kind of like, well, this is stuff that's common sense. I already know about this. I just want to know how you're feeling. Put it in the chat. Um, uh, okay. I want to make sure that y'all are getting something out of this, because other than the CPE, which reminds me, I probably need to do another poll. Great information. Will the slides and the recording be helpful? Yes. Amanda, the questions to ask the client and the Joint Estate Society is a super great stuff. Okay. Melody says common sense, but always good. So the next group is a little bit more specific, but why don't we do another poll real quick? So Matt, just throw up a poll. I don't care what poll it is. Just throw up a poll. Let's see. We got 78 people in the room. And then we'll do our little poll, and then we'll get into marketing ideas that I've used. Okay. I am A, and it says select an answer, but I don't see any choices here. Does that mean that this poll is screwed up? Matt, do y'all just see select answer, but you don't have any answers selected? Oh, there is a drop down. Why am I not? Oh, maybe I don't see it. Okay. Well, y'all go ahead and answer that. We're trying to figure out whether you are like a sole practitioner or work for a large accounting firm or whatever. I don't remember the list. So I'm going to take a little sip of water here. And anybody want to talk about the great big beautiful bill while we're waiting here? Anybody want to talk about politics or anything like that? Is that appropriate to do during a webinar? What do y'all think? Hello? All right. And I'm still waiting for the cannabis people. I don't know where they are. I want to hear something from the cannabis people. Anyway, go ahead and put the answer to the polls up here, because I think we've waited long enough. I can't see the answers. There we go. Okay, so we've got 22 of you are sole proprietors, LLCs or S Corp, and have no staff. You do it all. So that's a third of you. Whereas it looks like another third of you are either a staff or a partner in an accounting firm. All right. And then a quarter of you have 1 to 3 people working for you. Okay. All right, cool. All right, yeah, that's what I'm thinking, Matthew. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and Kyle says cannabis is an industry I would love to get more involved with. I bet you would, Kyle. I bet you would. No, but the thing about the cannabis industry is that they can't use the bank accounts, so everything runs through this big box that acts like a bank that's inside of their store. Do y'all know what I'm talking about? It's freaky. And they pay for things out of this, and they record what they're paying. They pay in cash. They're vendors, and then they record it. The money pops out of the machine, and they pay it. It's insane. But anyway, all right, let's move back into marketing. So you want to market yourself as an expert, niche-pert is what I said, an expert in your niche. Spend money on your website, all right? You should be spending at least $5,000 on your website. I'm not even kidding, okay? The website and spending money getting traffic there by the websites are everything, but have put time into social media as well. And we're talking about Instagram and Facebook. And I think the best one of all is YouTube for me because I can do little videos. And so people see me and they see me teach. I could probably go into, I'll show you mine. So if I go to, we'll just go to YouTube. QuickBooks made easy. Let's see if you can get to mine real quick. Here I am. So I put these webinars.
It's me.
Oh, that was when I had facial hair. But I have all sorts of videos. Where are my videos? Where are all the rest of my videos? That's just the welcome. But I have tons of videos. Look, I have 7.7K follows. I do like a video every week. I actually have a newsletter that comes out twice a month. It's called Quick Tips. It's just for nonprofits, and it's a little video on a little tip in QuickBooks. Okay, it takes 5 minutes to do. Okay, it is been everything for me. I have all kinds of videos that I do. I record it myself. I have a little app called Camtasia that I record it in. And one of the coolest things about this is I record the video with just like this. I'm recording my face and I'm also recording the screen. And then it's very easy. I have a green screen behind me. And then there's a little thing in Camtasia where you can clear out the green screen and then
Hello.
you've got me here, and then I can kind of move myself around when I'm in QuickBooks. But like this kind of stuff is interesting, and you can get into detail and explain stuff. People love it, and then they look at you. This has been my biggest winner of all is the YouTube videos. Facebook, there's a group called Facebook for Nonprofits that Megan Tarnell started. And you could have a Facebook group, QuickBooks for Cannabis or QuickBooks for Contractors. And you can get thousands of people joining that ask and answer their own questions. You can develop a whole community that way. You can just belong to it and get business that way. But all right. Let's see. YouTube videos, Facebook, Instagram. People say LinkedIn. I haven't gotten a lot out of it, to be honest with you. I feel like people use LinkedIn a lot more for jobs than anything else. Maybe I'm wrong. What do y'all think? I never go to LinkedIn. I feel like people use it just to kind of promote their own individual stuff. But anyway, like they're promoting themselves for jobs. But I haven't really gotten a lot out of it. Stay in your lane, okay? Learn to say no to others. All right. It's always fun to say no. But, it's like, hey, I'm looking for somebody to do, I have restaurants call me. Oh, can you do, because I saved a couple of my restaurant and bar clients that I still do, even though I'm only nonprofits. I still do the two of them. And so I'll get people that want me to do that. I'm like, no, I don't want that, So Jessica says she gets a lot of spam on LinkedIn, but she's gotten enough clients to make it worth swimming through the spam. So, and Wayne likes LinkedIn. So, all right. Let's see. I want to move to this. Okay. This is what I think probably the most valuable thing that I can give you. Okay. And this is an idea that one of my colleagues came up with, not me. Offer a la carte services. Okay. One-time projects. All right. That you can do, for instance, file setup. I will set up a new file, or I will help you integrate your CRM. Get it on your website as an a la carte one-time project. You can get additional fees from existing clients, but more importantly, you attract new clients. Okay. So I'm just going to go straight to where I do this on the website. So if I go to nonprofit consulting, you will see that I have a migration service that will move people from QuickBooks Desktop to QuickBooks Online. I have a checkup service, which I'll come back to in a second, a file setup service where I'll set up a file. I have a quick look service, a mapping service. This is where I connect their CRM. I map it. That's what you're ultimately doing when you're taking an outside app and you're syncing it with QuickBooks. You're basically mapping fields. This is actually an incredible service that I use. There's a high demand for it because I'm mapping, and I only map the 3 services. I map Bloomerang, Neon, and Little Green Light. I charge $500 for it, and then I go on Zoom and I do the mapping. When it comes to mapping one software to another, they can never do it themselves. And when they call, if they call QuickBooks or even you, the accountant, and you'll be like, well, I know QuickBooks, but I don't know the first thing about Neon. But and if they call Neon, they're like, well, we know Neon, but we don't know anything about QuickBooks. It's really hard to find somebody that knows both. Now, I don't know the first thing about using Neon on a regular basis, but I know how to map it. And I know what it needs to look like when it gets into QuickBooks. And so I'm able to bridge the gap for people. And I have 2 or 3 meetings with them for this flat rate of $500. And then I can't tell you how many times it turns into other work, like a 990 or an audit or regular bookkeeping. Happens all the time. So I really like that service. We get a lot out of it. We also will import data. I don't do this too often, but if you have people that have a lot of data, like customer names and stuff, and they want to get it in QuickBooks, or maybe we want to get old transactions in QuickBooks, that's definitely a service that you can provide. I also have tech support. I don't know that you want to do that. I do it. It's a great way to get clients. They can call us. I have a fixed rate for that service. I'll view the service. I charge $199 every 3 months. If they get a year, it's only $499 a year. Now, people are like, dude, is it 24/7? Yes. Can these people call you or email you anytime? Yes. Can you do you do appointments with them where you spend an hour on the phone with them? Yes. And they're like, dude, you're crazy. You're losing money. No, I'm not. I promise you. Okay. Out of every 100 people that signs up for tech support, you get maybe 4 or 5 that are taking up a lot of time. Most people don't even call. They'll call once or twice. Okay. This is a great way to make money. I also like it because it's a subscription service. And so it re-ups. And with subscriptions, people don't tend to stop them. But the other thing that I really wanted to point out about my a la carte services is this checkup right here. This is the best way to get new clients. I don't know if you've ever done this. You'll get a client. Oh, I want you to do the accounting, or I'm thinking about it. How much would you charge? We have no idea. We got to go into the data file, see what's going on with it, figure out what needs to be fixed, because there's always something that needs to be fixed. And then we can start doing the work. And in that process of learning the books and figuring out what's going on, we'll know how much to charge them. I don't want to do that service for free. I don't want to spend time learning this, learning their books so that then they can say no and go somewhere else. So I have a checkup service. And what we do is we go through, they'll meet with the team for an hour. We review the books for them. We come up with a list of things that need to be corrected, a formal redesign plan if necessary. You need to be using accounts for this, product services for that, classes for this, maybe an outside app for that. And then we'll either just give you in an implementation call, give you the results, or if you would like to, we'll do it for you, and then we'll take that $395 and we'll let it count towards the cost of fixing the data or the cost of being your ongoing accountant. So that has been another way that we've gotten a lot of new clients. It gives you the opportunity to see how great you are and also to see if you like them, okay, without losing money. You know, if you have a repairman come out to your house to see what's going on with the air conditioner or whatever, it's broken, they're going to come out. They're charging you a trip charge, all right, to figure out what the dealio is. And then you can decide whether or not you want them to do it or not. It's kind of the same thing here, all right? So thank you, Paul. I appreciate it. It is brilliant, and it's completely meaningless unless it is well done on your site and marketed through social media, okay? So let's see. The final thought that I want to leave you with, oh, I've got some more here because I'm going to have Chris come on. We're going to talk a little bit about reporting, but partner, partner, partner. All right. There's you. For you to just start trying to go to people individually is ridiculous. Find people that have lists, trade associations, vendors, the client's vendors, outside applications, other accountants, and get to know them and market to them. I'm going to tell you my biggest partner of all, the one that has gotten me the most business of all, and again, this is only relevant for people that are in the nonprofit industry, is TechSoup. So TechSoup is an organization that pretty much all nonprofits belong to. And what TechSoup does is they buy hardware and software for free. They get it for free from huge companies like Intuit, and then they offer it to nonprofits at vastly discounted prices. So for instance, QuickBooks Online Advanced, this costs, y'all know how much that normally costs? How much does QuickBooks Online Advanced? Anyone know in the chat? They keep raising the price. Put it in the chat. $299. How often do you have to pay that? How often do you have to pay that? It's monthly, guys. It's monthly. Okay? It's hugely expensive. In TechSoup, nonprofits get it for $170 a year. Okay? Now, this is not something you're going to find in any other industry, but as a result, every single nonprofit goes to TechSoup to buy QuickBooks. They also go to it to buy Adobe, to buy Microsoft, to buy all sorts of applications, software, and hardware. But anyway, I do all their trainings for free. All right. And so I've developed a relationship with them. They're in San Francisco. When I'm going, I'll go out there to have dinner with them. Okay. Why? Because I want them to like me. Now I'm going to tell you one thing that happened. This is unbelievable. So a few years ago, they didn't offer any payroll services at all. I feel like I'm really telling my secrets, but they didn't offer payroll services like ADP, Paychecks. They didn't have any partnerships with them. They have a lot of categories, but they didn't have anything for payroll. They had an accountant like me come to them and say, hey, I want to offer this. I'll do the payroll service, but I'm not really doing it. ADP is doing it. And I'll do this. I'll be your payroll service, but it's really ADP, but it'll just go through me and I'll do the payroll. And they're like, this is a great idea. And we don't know who the heck you are, but we know Gregg Bossen, and we know Gregg Bossen is an accountant, and we like him. So we're going to call Gregg Bossen and see what he thinks and if he would be interested in doing it, because we don't really know who you are. And so they came to me and said, do you want to do this? So now I offer, now it doesn't look this way to the person at TechSoup. they just will go, if they put in payroll, or here, I'll just click here and click ADP. They offer ADP on their website. Now, when they offer ADP for their website, it comes through me, and I end up getting the commission that normally goes to the accountant. And I mean, the amount of money that I get has been a big boom. But the only reason why it happened is because I took these people out to dinner and I like them and they like me. That's it. All right. So, all right. So I'm gonna turn it over to Chris for a second, and I just want to say, Chris, I'm gonna stop my share and let you share. Chris is with Finatical, and how long have you been around, by the way?
Greg, we're about 2.5, 3 years that we've been around, so we're fairly new. Yeah, so, but, you know, the product is built on the latest innovation and technology. Yeah, so I think scaling new house, we were out there for the 3rd year now, so probably just about 3.5 years then.
Yeah, and I'm going to do the last poll question in a few minutes, but I just want you, how many of you, put it in the chat, how many of you are sometimes frustrated with the level of reporting that you can get out of QuickBooks Online as opposed to QuickBooks Desktop? Do y'all know what I'm talking about, Amanda? So one of the hardest things about reporting with QBO is that it's not as flexible as it was in desktop. And so, and as I said earlier, that is what you want to lead with when you're marketing to people. You want to show them reports that you can get out of the software. Now, what QuickBooks Online doesn't do, there are apps that pick up where it leaves off. And I've had over the years a number of reporting apps that I've worked with, but I've not seen anything that I've been impressed enough with to actually offer or recommend to anybody until Finatical. And Chris and I got on a phone call last week. And basically what this does is it basically allows you to create your own custom reports based on information is existing in QuickBooks. They tried to do it a few years with Fathom. Do y'all remember that? They tried to do it with Fathom, but I didn't really like it. But anyway, so Chris, I don't know how to do this. I'm sure you have a couple things that you want to say, but what I wanted to do, you can just kind of give an overview of how it works, but I want to show them what Chris and I did last week, because one of the reports in the nonprofit world that's in the desktop is a budget to actual performance report. It's in desktop and not in online, and it gives you the ability to compare the current month actual to the current month budget, but then also the year-to-date actual to the year-to-date budget and the annual budget to all of it, all on the same report. And you can't do that in QuickBooks Online. And we built it in like 2 minutes. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Chris, just to kind of give your kind of overall understanding of what the heck this software is. It costs what, $29 a month? Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
all right, go for it. Go for it.
No, well, thank you, Greg. Yeah, when we, connected last week, I think one of the first things you asked me was, hey, just can you build this budget performance report? And that's what we shared. Well, maybe we should quickly just do this. And but yeah, so just very quickly, this is an Excel add-in. So this is standard Excel, and it just basically you add it just here, within 365. You connect, to your companies. And I'm already connected, but yeah, so it's essentially a direct connection to QBO. And in the interest of time, what I'll quickly do, there's 2 things with, that we did the other day with Greg. I'll build one from scratch, just using a template. And then we have actually got a template report for the budget performances report as well. But I'll quickly do it just from scratch, just to show you, just the principle. And so here is a foundation. I'm just going to start off by running a report. And, I'm selecting just various parameters here. I'm going to report by month. And I'm also going to include a filter as well, right? Because many times in nonprofits, you use classes as either, for the programs. And so we might want to filter, data by class as well. We've got a budget in QBO, right? So you can basically select which budget you want to pull in. We want the variance value. And I'm just quickly going to ask it, just to start building a report for me, and then we'll make some changes, in order to build that budget performance report. So essentially, how Flash works is it builds formulas, and it's just taking a second, just to refresh here because it's a real-time connection to QBO. But essentially what we do is we build this formula at the cell level, and that formula makes use of cell referencing to populate it with the parameters that are needed in order to get fresh values, from QBO. So there we can see it's essentially just refreshed. There we can see, if I click in it, then we can see the cells that are highlighted. Those are the cells then that are referenced, for this cell. And then if I have to change any of the parameters, let's say the dates, then we'll have some new values that are brought in. That budget performance report, we've got that, this month, July, there's budget, right? There's a variance there. And then here is this is the same. Let's just change this one because I think, Greg, it is basically year-to-date numbers that we want, right?
Yes.
In that budget performance report. And here we've also can see that those are the dates that are then referenced for this column as well. Then that's calculated over there. And I think then, Greg, in that budget performance report, what we do want...
the whole year. We want the whole year's budget now.
The whole year's budget, right? So then we can just quickly add that. And I think then the last thing is we want to put in a calculation for remaining, right? Because essentially my remaining, what I want to calculate, Greg, if I remember correctly what we said, is I want my budget, year to date, less my actuals year to date. Is that correct?
That's right.
Yep. So there we got that. And then the cell formatting, right? This is normal Excel. And then from a formatting perspective, I just very quickly can select, just standard Excel formatting. And there essentially, we've got a budget performance report, right? So monthly, year-to-date numbers compared to budget with a variance, and then my full year budget, and then just my remaining value.
Yeah, that is not something that you can get out of QuickBooks Online right now. Heather wants to know, can you combine multiple reports from QBO files?
If you say, sorry, can we combine multiple QBO files?
From multiple QBO files, yes.
Yes, absolutely. So this is actually coming in this week, is multi-company reports. Yep. So basically is where we can, so here, let's say I've got companies that I'm logged onto, and I'm basing, these are 3 separate QBO files, and now I'm basically building them and in combining them, and we'll just give this a second to build. And
wow.
So because of that Flash formula, right, that we said from a referencing, here in row 7, there's my 3 companies. Now we'll just give it a second to refresh. But there now, my company essentially comes from row 7. Yeah. And because of Excel, you can change and add rows and columns and calculations. And so you can refresh this data dynamically. Yep. So there we can see, everything else in there as well.
And this is what impressed me, Chris, and I feel like I'm really pushing for you. I'm not getting anything out of this, but it's because when I have these conversations with these app people, and you go and you literally ask a question like Heather did, it's like, well, we can't really do that now, or they don't understand what the question is. This is the first time I've ever had an app was like, holy shoot, this actually is like working. So I think that it's excellent. I want to do one more thing on my end, and we got the poll.
Yep.
But Chris, do you have something you want to share with them in terms of how to get in touch with you?
Greg, the last thing that you asked me to do was just this funder summary report that that has my projects down the list, right? I think this was very relevant for nonprofits where you've got your donors, beginning year income, expenses, and those end balances. Yeah, and then you can just change that. You can change this for different periods, and I think that was maybe just one thing that you shared was very relevant. That you maybe
that's amazing for the nonprofits. And it looks like on the 14th of this month, there is something that you're doing within Insightful Accountant. Is that right? You don't know?
I don't know. Yeah.
More on this from Chris on the 14th. Okay. I'm going to share my screen again.
Yep.
But thank you. Yeah, of course. Thank you for this. I'm going to share my screen real quick to show one more thing, because this is me being like, hey, I want to let you know this. So If you like me or the way that I teach, we have a 3-day webinar series. It's 2 hours a day, and it's coming up in August. It's a nonprofit QBO summer 3-pack, but everything is going to be available for every industry. You don't have to be in a nonprofit to be relevant for it. Yes, you get CPE. We're going to have day one. It's going to be all about expenses, advanced accounts payable, and expense tracking, both in and out of QuickBooks Online. And so the different apps that work with like Ramp and stuff like that, and also the new approvals that you have in QBO to get approved expenses, get approvals before you pay them. We're going to go through the new mastering bank feeds in QBO. As you know, bank feeds is much different. They've changed it, and it's actually a lot cooler. And we're going to be learning that on day 2 for 2 hours. And then on day 3, getting your books ready for year end, what to do at year end. And I'm going to be teaching that, and I'm going to teach it with another auditor. We're both auditors, and you can ask the auditor questions. So if you're a bookkeeper and you don't want to look stupid or get your client in trouble with an accountant or an auditor, then you can ask us. Okay. So it's $349 for all 3 days, 2 hours a day. We'll have fun. It'll be great. I think I'm done. I'll turn it back over to you, Gary.
Told you I wasn't coming back, but how could I not come back? It's Gregg Bossen after all, right? So
Saying.
I'm not really gonna do it, but I was gonna say I'm gonna pay $350 just to come listen to you for 6 more hours, but I'm not going to. But actually, one thing you did say about that, you said you don't really, it's not specific to not-for-profit, your series there.
I called it the nonprofit summer pack, but every
Mhm.
single thing that's here is not just for nonprofits. It's for
Okay.
everybody. It's
Okay.
for everybody.
Yeah. I think
So.
I think we do have at least one more poll, if not
Oh, yeah.
two.
Yeah.
Yep.
Can you run No, I've done 2 polls. So let's do the last poll.
Okay.
Matt will do the last poll. And I would like you to put in the chat one word about how you feel about this particular webinar. Put one word in the chat. Put it in the chat like happy, sad, excited, constipated. I just need one word about how you feel. All right, cool. Because I hate doing these things where I don't get into the meat, where I'm just doing fluff. So I really wanted to try and get you something that was good. And thank you, Chris. So it's called Fanatical, but you call the thing Flash Reports. Is that a subset of Fanatical, or?
Yeah, it's the reporting. But yeah, so just to folks, fanaticalsoftware.com is the website. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Then we do have one other poll question we're going to throw up there. Matt, if you would throw up the one just about Intuit Connect, and that is, we just want to know if you're going to Intuit Connect.
I'm
Surprisingly,
teaching.
it's only 2 months from now. Well, 2.5 months, I guess, right? It's at the end of October. So yeah, just trying to get a pulse on who's going to be there, who's not. We will be there. Don't know in what capacity, but how many classes do you have, Greg?
I'm teaching 100 minutes on advanced system design. So how to design accounting systems using, like, when should you use classes versus accounts versus locations versus custom fields versus product service, all that kind of stuff. So,
Gotcha.
and I think Intuit Connect will be better this year than it was last year. Last year was a little bit too markety fluffy. This year, I think they're going to have a little bit more meat on the bone. So.
Okay. And then what about you, Chris? Will you guys be there?
Yeah. So we're planning to, and but we're waiting for them to confirm Intuit, because they always allow limited vendors. Yeah.
Yeah.
Chris, I forgot. Does it work with any other software besides QuickBooks? Somebody wanted to know if yours works with Xero.
No, we just focus on QBO. So QBO only. Yeah.
All right.
All right. Well, I think that is a wrap. Greg, thank you so much. Chris, thank you so much. We appreciate your support. And we are back here tomorrow, 1 o'clock. I should have a cheat sheet in front of me, but I do not. It'll be in your calendar anyway. So hope to see you all here tomorrow for day 2 of this week's Future Forward. And again, make sure you're planning to be here on the 14th for the App Academy, where we do a little bit deeper dive on each of our sponsors. So thank you all so much. Greg? Thanks, Chris. Thank you.
Thank you very much,
Matt,
Greg. Thank you.
I had
That
a
was fun.
blast. It was fun. I
Thank
had
you,
a
Greg.
blast.
That was very good. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Thanks,
Thanks a lot.
Gary. Thanks, man. Take care.
Bye.